Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I'll be sharing a strange story with you about a Cambodian woman named Yari. To make it easier to understand, I'll tell the story as if I am the person who experienced it. Hello, everyone. The story I want to share with you happened to me back in 2017. This story doesn't directly involve ghosts. Well, it might be related to them, but only in my dreams. In real life, I didn't experience much supernatural activity. The truth is that someone was casting black magic on me, though initially I didn't realize it. It wasn't until the disturbing incidents became more frequent that I started to notice something was wrong. Let me clarify that I'm from Phnom Penh. One day, which happened to be a Buddhist holy day, after waking up, I suddenly felt a severe headache, as if I had the flu. After eating breakfast, I took some medicine and went to work as usual. On subsequent days, I kept waking up with the same symptoms. A week later, on another Buddhist holy day at dusk, while I was sitting in the living room, from the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of a black shadow that looked like someone running quickly from the front of the house into the kitchen. However, because it moved so fast, when I turned to look, there was nothing there. I thought I must have imagined it. A while later, my mother called me to dinner, but since I had eaten a lot earlier that evening, I wasn't hungry. I shouted back to her that I had already eaten outside. Strangely, that night I couldn't fall asleep at all. I kept tossing and turning until around 11 p.m. When I suddenly felt hungry, I went downstairs to the kitchen to find something to eat. After serving myself rice and dishes and preparing to eat, I suddenly got goosebumps for no apparent reason. After calming myself down, I took a spoonful of rice and immediately felt an unusually cold breeze blow against my face, making my hair stand on end. This made me feel very uncomfortable, so I left the food untouched and quickly ran back to my room, shut the door, and huddled in bed. I didn't experience anything else strange that night. A few days later, on another Buddhist holy day, the first suddenly developed a severe headache again. Even after taking medicine twice, it didn't help at all. But after that day passed, nothing unusual happened to me. Then, a week later, when another Buddhist holy day arrived, I experienced the same symptoms again. That's when I started wondering why I always felt unwell on Buddhist holy days. I kept these thoughts to myself and didn't ask anyone about that. That same night, after falling asleep, I dreamed about an old friend of mine with whom I had a conflict a few months earlier related to jealousy and her spreading rumors about me. In the dream, however, we were still good friends, walking together inside a large market with many vendors. When we reached a certain spot, my friend bent down to pick up a basket of fruit that I couldn't recognize. She handed it to me, telling me to carry it on my head. I took it and continued walking, but at that point my friend stopped accompanying me. I kept talking alone until I realized there was no response. When I turned around, I saw my friend's body standing still without a head, with blood spurting from her neck and covering her body. I was utterly shocked and quickly dropped the basket. To my horror, inside the basket was my friend's head. Her eyes were white without pupils, staring at me with intense anger. Terrified by this sight, I ran out of the market. But suddenly all the vendors transformed into frightening figures and started chasing me. I was so scared that I woke up from the dream. When I woke up, I heard someone knocking on my bedroom door. Still shaken by the nightmare, I didn't get up to open the door or respond to the knocking. After calming down, I began to wonder who could be knocking at this hour, and why they kept knocking without saying anything. After pondering this for a while, I slowly got up and approached the door. I asked who was there, but no one answered, and the knocking had stopped. When I quickly opened the door, there was no one outside. How could someone disappear so quickly in just those few seconds? Realizing something was wrong, I hurriedly closed the door and stayed in my room. From then until dawn, I couldn't sleep at all, even though it was only 3 a.m. After these strange incidents continued for 3-4 days, I decided to tell my parents about what I met. My parents were as puzzled as I was, but they didn't have any suggestions or take any measures. When I told my grandmother, who was older and had more experience with these kinds of supernatural matters, she advised me to go to the pagoda immediately, to have monks sprinkle holy water on me, and if possible, to seek help from a traditional healer. Concerned for my safety, I followed my grandmother's advice. After the blessing with holy water, I visited a traditional shaman for help. The shaman told me that someone had cast black magic on me, but fortunately I had come in time. If I had waited longer, it might have been too late to help. After receiving treatment from the healer, all the strange occurrences disappeared from my life. However, I still wanted to know who had done this to me, so I visited the shaman again, and when I asked him to help me identify the person, he told me it was someone with whom I had a conflict. He didn't specify a name or provide details about where this person lived. Upon hearing this, I could deduce for myself that it was none other than my former friend, the same person whose severed head I had seen in my dream. It's tragic how cruel and difficult to understand human hearts can be. We started as good friends, but later became enemies who couldn't stand the sight of each other, and this continues to this day. Nevertheless, I've tried to remain calm and haven't done anything in retaliation. While our legal system doesn't address ghosts or supernatural beings, I believe that whatever karma a person creates will inevitably return to them. Well, that's the end of the story. Thank you all for listening. See you in the next video.